So recently, Attorney General Loretta Lynch accidentally ran into Bill Clinton at an airport that they both happened to be at. And Bill Clinton came on her plane for over 30 minutes to apparently chat about the weather and kids and all types of benign stuff. Now, obviously, this raises red flags because the Justice Department is investigating Hillary Clinton. Attorney General Loretta Lynch is, of course, the head of the Justice Department. They're at the end of their investigation, and she's talking to Bill Clinton secretly on a plane. So there's an obvious conflict of interest here, and in my mind, there's no denying foul play. I think the people who are debating this are honestly silly people. This wasn't an accident. This was absolutely planned, and something went down in the conversation on the plane, and obviously it has to do with Hillary Clinton and, you know, perhaps Loretta Lynch's future. If there were to be an indictment of Hillary Clinton, and there's a million scenarios that could have went down and the specifics they could have talked about, but this is not okay. And obviously, if the situation was reversed, the Democrats would go after the Republicans. Could you imagine that? Seriously. You have a Republican presidential candidate under investigation, under a Justice Department investigation, and you have the spouse of that candidate having a private, over 30-minute conversation with the Attorney General, the head of the Justice Department. Everybody would go, that's foul play by definition. The fuck are you talking about? This isn't just bad judgment. Well, in step Hillary surrogate Howard Dean to make an ass of himself here.
They have a long relationship, but again, anyone else would have been stopped there. The Clintons feel that they are special and should be treated differently. And that's the narrative that will hurt them.
So Howard, as innocent as it may have been, generally speaking, from a political standpoint, politically, isn't it almost inexcusable?
Here's what's inexcusable. We're spending all this time on television talking about a visit between Loretta Lynch and President Clinton.
Okay,
why aren't we talking about how to get jobs back in America? Why aren't we talking about what we're going to do about health care? Why aren't we talking about foreign policy?
This is ridiculous. This goes on and on and on and on and on. And nobody wants to take this serious issue seriously.
Have known better.
Should Loretta Lynch have known better? I mean, it's hard, I would suspect, for an attorney general to refute a president from coming on the plane. Sure, it's like, hey, what are you going to say? Get off the plane? But should they not both have known better?
Sure, maybe they should have known better. Maybe all kinds of things should have happened. And maybe Colin Powell had his own private email, and so did Condoleezza Rice. Can't we start talking about issues that affect the American people in this campaign? How long is this going to go on? When are we going to talk about substance? When are we going to talk about jobs? When are we going to talk about health care? When are we going to talk about education? When are we going to talk about prison reform?
When Bill Clinton stops doing unforced errors like going on Loretta Lynch's plans. No, that's exactly what it was. This was all self-inflicted, Governor.
This is crap. We ought to be talking about serious stuff, not who did what to who. The reason this happens is because the right wing's got nothing on the Clintons, and all they can do is make up stuff like this.
How about this, Howard? I'm curious. Were you surprised or not surprised that the recent Quinnipiac poll shows Donald Trump more trustworthy than Hillary Clinton? I mean, how do you account for that?
Well, I actually don't believe that, because the Quinnipiac poll also showed some really weird poll results around the country. So I think before I respond to that, I'd like to see some more polls.
That last point there says it all. That says it all. Well, how do you respond to the fact that it's been proven through a poll that Hillary Clinton is actually less trusted than Donald Trump? Well, I don't believe that, so yeah, next question. Poll schmoles. I don't care. There's some weird stuff in polls, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that. Look in the other direction. Okay, or you can be an adult, Howard Dean, and you can go, well, hold on now. That is weird. Donald Trump is a buffoon. He's a silly person. He's a serial liar, pathological liar. But yet somehow people trust him more than Hillary Clinton. How can that happen? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because of stuff like this. That you're drinking a tall glass of obfuscation juice on. That's what he did there. You know, hey, isn't it weird that she's under investigation by the Justice Department and her husband meets up in private with the head of the Justice Department? I don't know, talk about jobs, healthcare, issues. Drink that obfuscation juice, bitch. And you know what the saddest part is? The same people who are now using that argument, political issues. They were the ones who were dodging all the political issues in the primary debate with Bernie Sanders. So Bernie Sanders would bring up healthcare. Bernie Sanders would bring up jobs. Bernie Sanders would bring up taxes. Bernie Sanders would bring up foreign policy. And it would be Howard Dean and the Hillary surrogates and Hillary herself who turn into Neo from the Matrix. Dodge the substance and talk about Bernie bros. But now all of a sudden, what do? Political issues because I cannot talk about this. Well, see, that's the thing is you're acting under the premise that this is not a real issue. That there's nothing here. But of course, there is something here. I just said, flip the script. Imagine it was a Republican running for president. That Republican's significant other, that Republican's spouse, met with the head of the Justice Department while he was under investigation by the Justice Department. You would go, oh my God, a clear conflict of interest. What went down on that plane? Obviously, there's foul play at work here. But when it's Hillary, no, doesn't count. Why? Hillary is the Democratic establishment. The Democratic establishment gets to play by different rules. So this is the one that we've anointed to be president, so no pesky investigation or potential indictment should get in the way. By the way, even if Hillary is indicted, I'm at the point now where I'm almost certain that you would still have the superdelegates give the primary to her at the convention and still make her the nominee, even though Bernie Sanders is still hanging in there and he hasn't dropped out yet, probably for that specific reason. Bernie Sanders isn't stupid. He knows, like, okay, I'm not going to convince the superdelegates who are the establishment over to my side now. It would take a monumental event, like an indictment, for example. But even then, he probably knows. They're probably still not going to go to me. They're going to give it to her anyway. When I look at exchanges like this, I think, oh, that's definitely the case. And isn't it sad? Howard Dean was the Bernie Sanders of 2004. A lot of you guys don't know that. But he was the most progressive candidate in the race in 2004, and he actually was different. He actually did speak about issues nonstop, and he never obfuscated on points that were logical. But now look how much he's changed. By the way, since then he's become a lobbyist and sold out and makes money from the establishment, and he's just a total Democratic establishment shill now, to the point where he makes arguments like that. He even goes as far as to deny poll results because it doesn't have the conclusion that he likes. How sad is that? It's like, look, Donald Trump is ranked more trustworthy than Hillary. I don't believe it because I think I like Hillary. I like turtles, so I don't believe it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having Bill Clinton meet with the head of the Justice Department as Hillary's under a Justice Department investigation. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? You know what we mean. Stop fucking obfuscating. This is why you're losing millennials. This is why you're losing left independents. This is why about 50% or more of Bernie supporters have no interest in Hillary Clinton. You're doing it right now.